let's take a look at driver control in Robot Mesh. Now, up until now, we've been using the Mimic for curriculum activities, but a gentleman by the name of, let's find a description here, Gerald Jung has posted this really good Mimic activity with a nice movable robot in the public files on Robot Mesh. There's two ways to get to this. The first one would be to just type in the URL, so Robot Mesh Studio, and that line of letters and numbers. Or we can click on Robot Mesh here. We can search public projects. And be mindful, this is a very tedious project because there's so many public projects that it can be quite tricky to go through them. I'm going to scroll around till I find T. Getting there. And so now we're in T. So tank, task, looking for TC01. Let's go back a little bit. About 100 name team because there's so many teams. And there we go, so TC01. So if I click on TC01, that's going to open up the file. And now we've got something we can start editing in. From here, if we go Options, and you want to go Copy Project. So name this TC01, you can just give it your name, or whatever you want to call it. And we don't want this to be shared anymore, so just leave it like this. We click OK, and now we've got a non-shared version that you can edit. So that's cool. So now I've got TC01, Travis Burrows. I've got a copy of the Mimic activity, and I've got the code in Python there. I've got the code in Blocky, and I've got the little description now, just saying who the author was. So thank you very much for creating this. Alright, so back to Blocky. What I want to do first is set up a basic driver control. And we've done this a few times in class, but we're just going to go through it again. Now, to do this, we always want to be able to drive the robot. So we're going to go to loops, and we're going to say repeat forever. And this is just going to allow it to keep cycling through. This is going to allow it to keep cycling through the code. Now, like I've said before, I don't like using the drivetrain stuff. It works well, but if you're building robots with more than 2 motors on the drivetrain, you might want to do something different. So I'm going to go to VexIQ Motors, which is zoomed way in. Let's just see if I can zoom this back out. Alright, and there we go. Begin running forward. We're going to drop that in. I'm just going to unzoom a bit. And okay, so I've got drive left, begin running forward, power 100. If I right click, I can duplicate that and stick it in. And we'll set the other one to drive right. So I've got drive right, and I've got them both going at 100. Now, if I were to run this program, it is just going to go forward at 100 power forever. So I need to change what the input is. And to do that, I'm going to go to VexIQ Sensor, and I am going to find is pressed. So this is button E up is pressed. We're going to grab that. Oop, I'm doing this wrong. Sorry. My bad. VexIQ Sensors, it's not, that's the next exercise. It's the axis positions. So axis A position, we're going to grab that, put that in there, duplicate it, and put it in there. And I believe the other axis is D. This will give you just a basic tank control drive. So now in here, if I go to Mimic, there's my robot, and I've got this little button that says keyboard joystick activated. I click on that, that opens up a keyboard joystick. I run the program, and now I can use these letters to drive the joystick. So I'm using W and I to go forwards, K and S to go backwards, WS to turn to the right, S and I to turn to the left. So if I hit W, so this should be, actually that's right, okay. So then, yeah, you can go around and drive the robot. So really simple driver control. I'm just going to go stop on that and we'll go back to Blocky. So that little piece of code is enough to allow us to start driving the robot. I'm going to stop this video here and move on to the next one in the section.